I'm Kelsey Kolbet, and I'm the Archivist and Digital Initiatives Librarian here at the Simmons University Libraries. Basically what I do, I preserve, make accessible, and help researchers connect with historic resources related to Simmons or tangentially related to Simmons. My favorite thing about working at Simmons is really connecting students, faculty, staff, and outside researchers with all of our materials. Whenever anybody comes into the archives, they really have their own individual story and interests, and that shines through with what they decide to come look at. My favorite thing about being an archivist is not only having a hands-on role with how we preserve and make accessible historical materials, but also being able to delve into the community itself and tell the history through our materials that we have. So my favorite object in the archives is one of our John Simmons looms. The ones that we have in the reading room kind of help tell the story of not only Simmons history and how we got here. John Simmons was, of course, a tailor in 19th century Boston. He was one of the first pioneers in suits that would be standard sizing rather than custom suits, so the democratization of clothing. But then also he decided to democratize women's education through creating not only Simmons, but admitting students that weren't admitted to other institutions at the time. Students can benefit from the Simmons Archives in finding their past in the present. So an interesting thing about visiting the archives is students often come looking for things associated with their times as a student themselves. These students are able to find how people lived throughout time in the very spaces and domains that they exist in now. And in that way, it's a really beautiful way to connect the past and the present. They can also look at things like yearbooks. Some people like to look and see if their mother had a yearbook entry. We get a lot of those queries, so students can connect to family that way. So early in Simmons history, every class, starting in 1907, selected their own mascots. And then by the late 80s, early 90s, students started to feel a palpable sense of a lack of school spirit, and they thought a really great way to address that would be by reinstating a mascot. By the 90s, the Simmons Athletic Association used two different mascots. There was the Shark, which of course would become Stormy, and that was used by the soccer and field hockey teams. And then other teams used the Thunderbolt. Now, students wanted to make sure there was only one mascot to rally behind, and that's how Stormy was born. So the Simmons Archives is here for the community. For some, the archives can seem kind of scary or something behind closed doors, but here in the Simmons University Archives, we really encourage students to come in, have their hands on the materials, and really be active and engaged with Simmons history itself. Another reason I really like working here is we're very much a teaching archive, and we get a lot of archive students who come in and work on certain projects, usually processing projects here. It's a really great opportunity to develop their skills as emerging archivists and get their hands on materials sooner rather than later. So I love being a mentor for those students, and I love really fostering their early career as archivists.